Success doesn't recognize comfort. It won't ask if you slept well or if your heart is in it today. It doesn't care if you're tired, unmotivated, or uncertain. It moves forward with or without you. If you want it to notice you, you'll have to fight for it, bleed for it, earn it when no one's watching. Success doesn't come with sympathy. While you're making excuses, someone else is making moves. While you wait to feel ready, someone's already claimed what you wanted. Success isn't cruel, it's just consistent. It honors the grind, not the delay. Emotion is natural, but discipline? That's sacred. Cry if you must, scream, doubt, want to quit. But just know, if you stop, the world won't. You've got a choice, comfort or the crown. You can't have both. Life will hit hard. It will test your will.
But only the ones who keep moving earn their moment. There will be days you feel drained, broken, betrayed, unseen. But you show up anyway. Not because it's easy, but because quitting was never an option. Pain doesn't excuse you from purpose. Champions don't wait for perfect conditions. They perform in spite of them. Perform anyway. So let's be clear, this isn't for the soft-hearted, the excuse makers, or the maybe tomorrow crowd. This is for the ones who rise on empty, the ones who show up without applause, the ones who understand greatness doesn't wait for your mood. It answers only to commitment. Success doesn't care if you're in the mood. It won't ask how you're feeling. It won't comfort you when you're tired or make life easier because it's been unfair. Success isn't your mother. It's not your comforter. It's your mirror, and it reflects only one thing: results. Success isn't your therapist. It's not your friend. It's a mirror, and it only reflects results. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't show up and execute, your feelings won't matter. Your record will. Passion doesn't entitle you to anything. Only performance does. You think passion earns you the prize? Passion without performance is just noise. You believe pain should guarantee a breakthrough? Pain without progress is just suffering. There are people out there with broken hearts, tired bodies, and heavy minds, and they're still showing up and getting it done. Why?
Because they know what most people don't. You don't get rewarded for showing up emotional. You get rewarded for showing up effective. You want to win? Stop checking how you feel every morning. Stop asking, "Am I in the mood?" Start asking, "What needs to get done?" I get it done, no matter how I feel. Because consistency isn't a mood, it's a decision. Champions don't let feelings lead. They measure their day by output, not emotion. They know success doesn't see your struggle, doesn't hear your excuses, and only stays loyal to results. In the end, people won't remember how hard it was. They'll remember what you delivered. People won't remember your excuses. They'll remember your impact. Your feelings are real, but they're not a reason to quit. Yes, you're human. Yes, you'll have hard days. But let those be the days you showed up anyway. Tired, hurting, maybe even broken, but still present. Because in the end, presence beats perfection. In the courtroom of greatness, no one asks how you felt about the assignment, only if you delivered. If you want success to know your name, make sure your results speak louder than your complaints. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to struggle. But you are not allowed to quit. Angry, sad, anxious, even scared, that's human. But here's what you can't do. Let those feelings decide the outcome of your life. Feelings are like weather. Some days it rains, some days it shines. But if you only moved when the skies were clear, you'd stay stuck forever. Winners move, rain or shine. Life doesn't wait for your emotions to stabilize, and neither does success. Emotions can guide you, but they should never govern you. If you let them take control, you become a slave to passing moods, and temporary emotions make terrible permanent decisions. You don't build a legacy on how you feel. You build it on what you do. You don't build greatness on how you felt. You build it on what you did despite how you felt. The difference between champions and everyone else isn't that they feel better, it's that they move anyway. The trap? Thinking you need motivation to take action. You don't. You need discipline. Waiting to feel ready is just a delay tactic, a trick your mind plays to keep you safe, not successful. Because your brain doesn't care about greatness, it cares about comfort. It's built to protect you from pain, risk, and failure. But what it doesn't understand is this: growth lives on the other side of discomfort. And if you want more, you've got to move before you're ready.
Emotional resistance is real, but growth doesn't happen by staying in the mood. It happens when you push past it. It's not about ignoring your emotions, it's about refusing to let them steer your life. They can ride with you, but they don't get to touch the wheel. You lead with vision, not emotion. Feelings follow. Discipline drives. Lead with principles, not moods. Emotions shift, your purpose doesn't. So the next time your feelings whisper, "Not today," you rise and reply, "I move anyway." Because true power is this: moving forward while carrying it all. The pain, the fear, the doubt, and choosing purpose over comfort every single time. You don't become unstoppable by silencing your feelings. You become unstoppable by refusing to let them control your future. There will be days when your emotions scream louder than your goals, when everything in you begs to quit, to rest, to wait. That's the line where most people stop. But champions, they cross it anyway. Most people don't fall short because they're weak. They fall because they never built the bridge. That bridge is called discipline. It connects what you feel to what must be done. Without it, you're tossed around by every emotional wave. Discipline isn't a personality trait. It's not just for the gifted. It's a decision, and anyone can build it. Discipline isn't a mood. It's a daily decision. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline wakes with you, walks with you, and faces the hard things head on. It doesn't bargain. It reminds you, no shortcuts, no skipping steps, just the work. Those who win aren't always the most driven, they're the most consistent. The ones at the top didn't rise on waves of inspiration, they rose through discipline, moving even when they didn't feel like it. They built routines not around emotion, but identity. They showed up sore, showed up tired, showed up anyway. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Study when your mind drifts. Work when comfort calls. Not because it's easy, but because the mission outweighs the moment. Here's the truth they won't tell you. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from regret, from wasted time, from the chains of what if. Discipline costs you now, but it saves you forever. A life of almost is built on emotion. A life of excellence is built on discipline. You don't wait, you earn. One hard choice at a time. So ask yourself, what leads you, emotion or execution? Do you follow your feelings or your commitments? Because your future is being shaped right now by every decision you make when it's hardest to choose right. Your life is shaped by that answer every single day. The bridge to your future already exists, but you have to walk it step by step, in the rain, in the silence, in the fatigue. That's the price. That's the path. You think failure is the enemy, but really, it's quitting when it gets hard. You think the enemy is fear. You think it's rejection. But the real enemy is comfort. It doesn't shout. It doesn't warn. It whispers, "You're good enough." It tells you to slow down when it's time to speed up. It says, "Take a break" when you're just hitting stride.
Comfort steals potential in silence, not with force, but with permission. Comfort tells you to rest when you should be doubling down. It promises peace, but steals progress. It's a slow death. It keeps your body warm while your dream goes cold. It convinces you effort is optional, that greatness comes easy, that success is for the lucky. But if you listen, you trade your potential for a pillow. Keep listening to comfort long enough, and one day you'll wake up wondering, where did my fire go? The truth? It didn't vanish. You traded it for convenience. You don't become who you were born to be in ease. You become that person in pressure. Diamonds aren't made in soft beds. They're forged in heat, grit, and grind. Diamonds are formed in pressure, not in quiet rooms. They're shaped by fire, force, and grind. But most people spend their lives running from that very process, chasing comfort like it's the prize, not realizing it's the trap. Comfort makes you forget you were made for more. It numbs your hunger. It dulls your edge. And here's the truth: potential has an expiration date. Use it or lose it. Potential doesn't stay loyal to the one who ignores it. Every time you choose ease over what's necessary, you trade a piece of your future for a moment of relief. But hear this: success doesn't live in your comfort zone. It lives just beyond it, where the air is thin, the path is steep, and the weak turn back. That's where your next level lives, and it's waiting to see if you'll show up.
Out there, the air gets thin and the work gets hard. So if you want to reach your highest self, stop protecting your feelings. Start confronting your comfort. Stretch until it hurts. Move until it breaks. Grow until it scares you. Because the real you, the strong, focused, disciplined you, doesn't live in ease. That version of you is forged in the fire. The unstoppable you doesn't live inside the lines of safety. That version of you is out there, in the discomfort, in the stretch. And you'll never meet them if you keep choosing easy. Don't be fooled by highlight reels. Winners feel the same fear, the same fatigue. The difference? They move anyway. Not because it's painless, but because purpose matters more than comfort. That's what makes them unstoppable.
Champions feel it all: the doubt, the fear, the questions. They wake up some days unsure, wondering if they're good enough, strong enough, smart enough. But here's the difference: they don't let feelings decide their actions. They move anyway. They show up in the storm. You think champions don't cry? They do. They just cry forward, never backward. That's what sets them apart. They do cry, but they cry while pushing forward. You think they don't break? They break, but they break forward. They know motion isn't just physical, it's a declaration. Every step through pain says to life, I am not ruled by how I feel. I am ruled by what I choose to do, by who I choose to be. Because here's what the greats know: your emotions don't cancel your commitments. No matter your mood, your dream still needs your effort. No matter your pain, the grind still demands your presence. Winners aren't emotionless. They're masters of their feelings. They know how to channel every doubt, every fear, every ache into fuel for the climb. They turn the storm into fuel. They don't flee discomfort, they respect it. They embrace it, because they know if you only move when it's easy, you'll never move far. We live in a world that glorifies comfort, avoids struggle. But nothing worth having is born from convenience. Growth isn't painless. Change isn't smooth. Every level demands a price: time, energy, belief, sacrifice. And the bill is paid in action, not attitude. So yes, feel what you feel. That's human. But don't let feelings steer you. Let them remind you,
Even the strongest feel doubt, pain, and fear.
What sets them apart is moving forward anyway. They break sometimes, but what makes them champions is that they arrive anyway. Tears in their eyes, passion in their heart, uncertainty on their shoulders, and determination in every step. So ask yourself, are you waiting to feel victorious, or are you ready to be victorious through your actions? You can have every reason in the world and still fall short. That's the truth. You might be fighting silent battles, working with less than half the tools, showing up when everything's against you. But in the end, the world doesn't count your excuses. It only counts what you deliver. Results don't need a backstory. They speak every language. They cross every border. They don't ask how hard it was. They only ask if you made it. And while that may sound cold, it's also liberating, because it means you're not defined by your struggle. You're empowered by your outcome. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the author of what you build despite them. You are not the sum of your feelings. You're the result of what you do. Actions leave evidence. They echo. They build legacy. When history looks back, it won't remember how close you came. It won't count the tears, the exhaustion, or the almost. It remembers what you finished, what you stood for, what you made real, despite everything that tried to stop you. In the end, the question is simple. Did you finish? Did you leave a mark that outlasted your excuses?
Yes, people may feel your pain, but they're moved by your performance. They'll listen to your struggle, but they're inspired by your strength. If you want to lead, to rise, to matter, it's not enough to survive the storm. You have to shine through it. If you want to be remembered, not just liked, but respected, you have to choose results over reasons, action over emotion. Greatness isn't earned by explaining why it didn't work. It's earned by making it work even when the odds say you shouldn't. Because respect is born in the moments you deliver, not in the moments you explain. Even when no one's cheering, even when it aches, you keep going, because no one's coming to close the gap for you. The distance between where you are and where you dream to be, that's yours to conquer. Step by step, choice by choice. Excuses are comfort. They ease the sting of delay. But while they cushion your pride, they quietly steal your progress.
Dreams fade when not followed by action. But results, they're bricks. Heavy, earned, permanent. Stack them daily. Stack them relentlessly. Because in the end, no one will ask how you felt. They'll ask what you built. Motivation is beautiful when it shows up, but greatness belongs to those who show up without it. When motivation hits, you feel unstoppable, sharp, focused, ready to conquer the world. But what about the days it doesn't show up? The mornings you wake up drained, dull, uninspired. That's where most people break, because they built their grind on a feeling, not on discipline. They relied on a fire that was never guaranteed, and when it faded, so did they. When the fire faded, they faded with it. But the ones who rise to the top, they don't wait for the fire, they become it. They don't depend on motivation to move. They move because their mindset demands it. They've trained their minds to lead when their hearts lag behind. Their legs keep going even when the passion isn't there. Their hands keep building even when the feeling is gone. Because for them, discipline isn't a mood, it's a habit. Whether the mood agrees or not, they show up. Because their identity is rooted in action, not emotion. You want to know what separates the consistent from the convenient? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even raw skill. It's the ability to keep moving, especially when they don't feel like it. The ones who rise are the ones who refuse to wait for the perfect feeling. They don't chase a vibe, they follow a vow.
A vow to finish what they started. Winners build systems. They build habits that run deeper than mood because they know the truth. Momentum doesn't come after motivation. Motivation comes after momentum. You move first, you act first, and the feeling follows. But if you sit around waiting to feel ready, you'll stay stuck, watching others pass you by. Not because they were more inspired, but because they moved without needing to be. Train your mind to run on standards, not emotions. Emotions waver. Standards hold. They don't shake when life gets heavy. They don't break when pressure rises. They stand. And if your standard is movement, then every day you show up is a win. Even the rough days, even the ones where the only victory is refusing to quit. Do the work. Let others wait for inspiration. Let them scroll for motivation, chase quotes, and search for the spark. But not you. You weren't made to wait. You were made to work, built to move first, to move fast, to move forward regardless of how you feel. Because your drive isn't emotional. It's intentional. Write this down and lock it in. Motion fuels motivation, not the other way around. Move first, act first.
Then watch the energy rise to meet you. Anyone can show up when they feel inspired. Anyone can go all in when the skies are clear and the path is smooth. But legacy is built in the storms, when there's no applause, no spark, and you show up anyway. Legacy is built in the shadows. It's written in the quiet, when no one's watching, no one's cheering. When the room is empty, your energy is low, and doubt is loud. But you show up anyway, because you know what most people never learn. Those days matter most. It's easy to give your all when you feel good. It's when everything feels wrong and you move anyway that greatness starts to take root. It's easy to shine when your name is trending. But what about the days when it's just you, the silence, and the mission? That's where character is carved. That's where greatness begins. Not in celebration, but in consistency. Not under the spotlight, but alone, facing the mirror, showing up without applause. Look at the lives of legends. Their power wasn't born in crowds. It was built in quiet, behind closed doors, when no one was watching but them.
The ones who left a mark, who built something that outlived them, they all shared one truth. They didn't grind when it was easy. They showed up when it was essential. They understood that purpose doesn't call in sick, that destiny doesn't grant days off, because greatness isn't defined by what you feel like doing. It's defined by what you do, even when everything in you says don't. Greatness isn't about showing up when it's easy. It's about showing up when you're exhausted, overwhelmed, and barely holding on. When everything in you says, not today, but you move anyway. Those moments, quiet, painful, unseen, are what legacies are built from. Not the days you felt ready, but the days you refused to quit. You won't always feel like showing up, but when you push through the doubt, the weight, the resistance, that's when you set yourself apart. That's when something real begins to take shape. Because a decade from now, no one will ask how often you almost gave up. They'll ask how you kept going. And that's the story that will matter. Thanks for watching. Remember, every step forward brings you closer to your dreams. Stay inspired, stay unstoppable. Please remember to hit subscribe and drop a comment for more.